Hello, welcome, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Inside Icon. I'm David, and with me, as usual, is Min, the founder of Icon. Min, thanks for making time for us, and curious to know, how have you been?
I've been good. Very busy month, and I think the next few weeks will be even busier traveling again. So we could go into that a little bit more. But yeah, it's been a good month. Don't
Have you been
I have a
traveling this
smile.
month? Yeah.
I have a smile on my face, so it's good news. This past month, no. Mostly local, in-person meetings, local meetups.
Yep.
So those have been good. But I guess to cover the past month, I've been preparing the board meeting, which will take place in Zug, Switzerland, where the Icon Foundation is. So as you guys all know, the Icon Foundation, we're based out of Zug, Switzerland. We do board meetings there every year, a few times a year, actually. So unfortunately, due to COVID, I haven't made travels out there, and this is actually my first time going back in about 3 years. So things are, as mentioned, uh, open now. Everything's open for business, so very
Yeah.
excited to go back. Um, Also, we're preparing the audit and the usual annual filings. Every, kind of compliance requirements that we do for the Icon Foundation. So just making sure that, there is a governing body of the Icon Foundation that makes sure that we do everything that we were supposed to do, like we said on the white paper. And for the past 5 years, we had no issues there. So we're in great shape. And let's see. I think the most important one, obviously, is that we launched the Foundation Validator Support Program to increase the security of the Icon network. I think perhaps we should go into that a little bit deeper, but yeah, that has
Definitely.
been pretty good so far, and getting some good feedback. So
Yeah,
and we
because
have a few other things in the pipeline.
the that's the Validator Node Support Program that got launched. Was it like a week ago? The announcement dropped that the foundation was going to help out uh, uh, network validators with vote delegation, essentially, such that they can uh, earn more, and they get that if they meet certain criteria.
Right, exactly. And it's something that we've been thinking about for a couple of months, and it was announced last week, and everything has been running smoothly. I mean, it's nothing complicated, but there's a lot of things that we need to think about when it comes to token economics. When we put in a program like this, how the community will react to it, how the token prices, or a lot of these things could react to it. So we don't want to be influencing anything in other way. So kind of taking a step back and going a little deeper with the validation support program. I mean, we all know that this is the bear market where the crypto prices are low. So the validator operations are, frankly, not profitable. And this is not unique to Icon, but very common issue, at least from my conversations with other networks that, and we could see obviously from other validators that, a lot of the other blockchain networks are also, figuring things out and suffering due to the market conditions. So
Yeah,
this is a very common issue amongst, all networks except, a few,
yeah,
of the majors.
yeah,
So as we all know, validators are central to the security of the blockchain network. So we came up with a plan to help validators get through this winter, and hence, to secure the network. Um, Fortunately, the Icon Foundation, and we're able to accomplish this with our treasury and with our current system that we have. And I say fortunate because not many other networks have this luxury or this option to do what we have, this program that we kind of put together. So I think this has been a very, good program for the past, week that we've been going through, and we've received some good feedback. So, we're closely monitoring the how this program, works out in the short term, midterm, and for the long term. And we're going to continually make improvements to make sure that, ICON network, has, we can maintain sustainability for the long term.
Yeah. And because is Icon able to do this because of good treasury management, or is it because of our infrastructure is different than others?
I mean, it's both. One, we've put together a good, solid token economics in place. We're able to, it's very secure, stable, and we have, again, a very good validated network. So a lot of kind of the foundational aspect of the Icon Foundation was already there for us to, so when I say that is part luxury, but on the other side, the other luxury part is that the Icon Foundation has done a very good job with our, treasury. I mean, we're one of the oldest projects in the ecosystem. We haven't had the need to, continually fundraise or, sell our ICX treasury to, venture capitalists and things like that. So
Yeah.
we are not in need of additional funding. So a lot of things that we've done in the past 5 years have been, I think, in our opinion, we've had some luck to as well, but largely part to our conservative, financial, I guess, discipline that we've put in place, which helped us manage through the first, crypto winter back in 2018, and it will help us navigate through this crypto winter. Hopefully, which I think we're very confident we will. But
summer might be coming, but no one really knows how far away that is. I know a lot of validators very happy with this program. So essentially, validators come up with the bond, they have skin in the game, and if they do so, that's when the foundation will step in and say, hey, we can allocate votes to you, increase your rewards that you receive if your validator is productive. There are chats in the Icon forums on the governance side of things to get this kind of system kind of embedded in the network so that there would be no need for a foundation program. Is this a natural way of a decentralized network evolving?
Definitely. And, ideas continually evolve. And as we monitor kind of the system and we look at the data, we look at feedback, we continually want to bake in some good features to the core infrastructure to make sure that the network is sustainable in the long run. So yeah, we're continually making those type of changes and taking in community feedback, and the forum obviously is a great place to kind of view the latest ideas and things like that. Yeah,
because it's the validators who would have to vote for network changes, right? It's not the foundation that can just change the rules of the game.
Of course, the Icon Foundation is, we wanted to, we're a big part of the Icon Foundation, but at the same time, we are not so in a way that we don't have the voting power. We have equal voting power as everyone else, any other validator in the network.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're proud for that. I mean, we're very proud that we have a good number of validators that are helping to govern the network so that, we don't have to.
Yeah, and hopefully a growing number with this program. I'd say the announcement is on the website, and for validators that are hearing this first, like, you can go there and apply for it. And I think the foundation delegates once every 2 weeks, once every 4 weeks, is it, where votes go out if you're an eligible node operator. So
right,
yeah, good news for all. I suppose that brings us to our next talking point. Everything's been xCall. xCall service with Icon. We spoke about it last time. We've seen developments now on both sides. We can track them on the website in the live milestone updates. We've got the xCall integration into IBC on the one side, and then we've got the BTP development with great news coming earlier this month, and that was that BTP is live on testnet, trustless one way at the moment, and working towards trustless two ways. One way meaning if you send messages from Icon outward to the connected chains on testnet, it's fully trustless, fully decentralized, and on the way back it will be shortly. I guess the community wonders, is happy with that and wonders what the next steps are if we move from there. If you could talk to that.
So right now there are, I would say 2 parts to xCall. One is integrating BTP, and obviously, like you just mentioned, BTP currently has ETH and Binance Smart Chain connection that is live on testnet. So that has been extremely positive, and we are very close. Obviously, we take that with a grain of salt when I say very close, like you just never know. But we are making some great progress forward to make that two-way system and to make it completely trustless both ways. So that is we're making some good progress there. The other part of xCall is that we are doing IBC integration, and that has been going quite smoothly. I would say I could even argue that it's even faster than BTP because IBC is already out there, the documentation is already out there. So we're, we just need to take, parts of that and integrate it into the xCall feature. So things are progressing. I don't want to say that everything is, completely smooth sailing. Obviously, there are challenges that are, in between, and we need to ask and collaborate with Interchain Foundation on the Cosmos side to come up with some innovative solutions to get around a few things. But other than that, I mean, I would say the development has been much faster than building our own standards like BTP and trying to create like a completely new system. So both sides, it's been going great. And strategy-wise, I mean, our goal is to launch a incentivized testnet challenge program where we can have real kind of come up with some real use cases, come up with many different challenges that we want our community involved to be able to use xCall for ETH, for BSC. And not only that, we also have Hava network. So we will have Hava, which is another Icon SDK chain. And we want to be able to incentivize more usage between those chains. So we will have some specific additional bonus between those. So we're designing this very comprehensive program and I think I'm very excited. I think our community should be very excited for things like this. That's where a lot of the fun is. So a few good things hopefully.
To be clear, that's for developers, right? To build on the test nets, to check out the functionalities there, and to check out the connections, I suppose, between those chains.
Right. This is specifically, like you just said, for developers. So everything we do, technically should be for developers.
And what's a fun insight there then, I guess, is if you're building and connecting, if you're using BTP and xCall to connect the dApp from Binance Smart Chain to Ethereum testnets, that's completely EVM compatible. So you wouldn't even have to code in Java. You could use xCall with EVM dApps from Binance Smart Chain to Ethereum testnets.
Yeah. So it sort of expands our the utility of Icon and Icon Network. So I think that's a very positive. And I think a good example of when we look at the future of xCall, I think Craft is a good example of what we want to see more of. So, Craft, as some of our community members would know, is currently expanding to another blockchain called, it's a new one called Neutron, is a Cosmos SDK chain. So this is where we believe xCall is going to be very valuable, and there's going to be synergies created with IBC, and this is just one example of how we are expanding into connecting and collaborating with another network, and we're going to have, hopefully in the future, other blockchains that we could connect with and have further collaboration with, and also expand the utility of the Icon network.
Yeah, it's quite exciting times. It's now to a point where then a product is nearly ready on testnet, and we can actually, incentivize developers to build with it, build around it, and
Right.
learn from that as well. Because I think an incentivized testnet like that is also about getting the feedback from these developers before you would ever go to mainnet, so that you can really get like everyone talking, all the builders talking about what is good about it, what needs refinement. Yeah, getting to the end already. I saw interesting news the other day that last time we were on air, we talked about the SEC in the United States suing all these crypto companies, staking providers, and how the regulatory crackdown. And then the other day I saw that Coinbase was actually suing SEC back. So it seems like the war is on. Any insights from South Korea, where there has been some positive news, I thought, about crypto regulation last month?
Well, first of all, before I get to that, I think it's kind of funny how you mentioned Coinbase and SEC, because just this morning, it looks like Coinbase just launched some, I guess I'm advertising for Coinbase, but they just launched a USDC yield product. I don't know if product's the right word, but if you keep your USDC in Coinbase, you get a yield between, I think, 1.5 and 4.1%, if my memory serves me correctly. So I think that's like a very blatant slap in the face to the SEC, saying that they are not going to be, playing by the rules anymore, and kind of going forward with, providing yields and not asking for permission. So I think that was quite interesting turn of events for a very compliant, I guess, exchange like Coinbase. So a little surprising, but kind of going back to South Korea. So I think what was interesting recently, I think this news came out a couple of days ago, is that the South Korean court has claimed that Terra Luna is not a security. So one of the co-founders were, there's a photo of him, Daniel Shin. So everything, resulted quite positively for, him and, perhaps the industry. So I think this is something that SEC could take note of. It could be sort of a precedent setting, depending on, different geography. Obviously, kind of the security laws between US and Korea are not perfectly, the same, but it is quite similar. So I think just the result, from the Korean courts could be quite interesting from the US side as well. So
because
so,
it's one thing to announce a lawsuit, but it's another thing to actually win it or have it fall in your favor. So that could be a sign.
But this was, basically even before you got to like deep in the trial, it was thrown out of the court. So, it's very positive, and it just sets a good precedent for not only Icon, but for a lot of other crypto projects that are, in and outside of Korea, because such precedent will, it's meaningful, right? It's meaningful that, we've been arguing all along that, something like Icon and other tokens that the SEC is going after right now. And in the past, couple of months, the SEC has been very, very aggressive when it came to suing a lot of these tokens and calling them security. I think a precedent like this is a good sign and something that our industry should take a positive note on.
Yeah, could possibly lift us out of the bear market depression at some point. I'd be quite happy to see that happen.
Probably not enough. I think I have a lot of thoughts around that, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
That kind of brings us to the end of our catch up this time round. I was wondering if there's anything else you'd like to share, or any insights you've gained speaking to other industry leaders and people at events. Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a lot out there. There's a lot of noise. All I can say is that there continues to be a good amount of activity in crypto. It might not show in the, on crypto Twitter in public, but, I want everyone to understand that builders are going to continue to build, and, investors that are good investors will continue to invest. This is a great time to continue building, continue to do investment, and continue to come up with some innovative solutions. So yeah, I think those are things are all happening in the background. I've been hearing from other projects that are hiring. So there aren't too many projects or companies in our space, in the crypto space, that's hiring. But for those that are trying, I hear that there's a very, very strong pool of talent right now due to the recent mass tech layoffs. So so I think that has been very positive. Like, if you are building a team, building a product, you have this pool of people that you could recruit.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. So I think that's a extremely positive news, obviously.
Yeah.
Some other, I like Dubai seems to be the name that the name that continues to pop up like more and more frequently. So, I'm personally taking a note there. Probably will try to make a trip out to Dubai sometime this year or next to see what all the buzz is about. But, I've been hearing everything from, like business trips, for funding, for setting up new headquarters, hiring. Like Dubai is like becoming sort of like a name that's been popping up like again very frequently.
Yeah.
And maybe one last thing, maybe that there continues to be, I guess, more fragmentation with like in our space when it comes to like layer 1, layer 2. There's more competing dApps. There's even more number of like investors, crypto funds, traders, even conferences. Like even this year, we're seeing a number of new conferences everywhere. There's more ETH conferences. I think before there was just kind of the main ETH DevCon, and I think ETH Denver was one, and then there were a few others, but I think ETH Tokyo was very, very successful. So I think that's been a very positive sign that there's a lot of investment going into so many different things. There's more competition, but there's more fragmentation as well. So I think that all adds to eventually more innovation, or will result in more innovation in the industry. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
I would say maybe the only consolidation I'm seeing is at the level of exchanges. So, obviously with FTX out of the picture, and some of these kind of the larger names, like you don't really hear them anymore because they're, I guess, I don't think they're as relevant as they used to be 3 years ago. So a lot of like user concentration has been going into the major exchanges, like I think Binance. And so I think that's kind of a call for concern as well a bit, where you want to see more fragmentation for exchanges so that there's more competition, so that there are more tokens that are that gets listed across different geographies and different exchanges. That actually helps, I think, newer projects get visibility and things like that. But anyway, I think at the exchange level, there's been some unhealthy consolidation.
Yeah, well, obviously because of the way things went down with FTX, and as of recent, the biggest was always Binance, and FTX was number 2, and if that drops away, then there's a massive vacuum right there happening.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear that what you're seeing as well is a lot of building, some careful hiring left and right, and they do say that the best products and winners are crafted in the bear market. So those are these moments, and hopefully, months, years down the line, we look back and we say, hey, it was 2023 when it all got created, and benefit from it later. Thank you, Min. That brings us to the end. Thanks for checking in again. This was our episode. We'll see you next month with Fez. Fez always dropping the technology insights and the development insights. But this was it for now. So thanks for coming. And
thanks for putting this together. And it's always good to talk about Icon. I think this monthly thing is very, I guess, is efficient for me, for my time. So I actually like this a lot more than coming up with Twitter threads.
Cool. Well, we'll keep at it. And if you're still listening, don't forget to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, because Icon YouTube, that's where this all gets posted. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.